You ever find yourself making snap decisions in the heat of the moment that you later regret? Think about impulse shopping, wearing out your roommate's shoes without asking, or even speaking rudely to that door to door salesperson. Impulse control can be a real challenge for all of us, let alone our learners. Many of our learners struggle with curbing impulse control. So, what strategies can we use to help them gain this skill? Hi, I'm Shayna, and together with my partner Shira, we are How to ABA. We're behavior analysts who create weekly content about how to teach children with autism so that they make real progress. And we create shareable resources to make your job just a little easier. Today's topic is all about impulse control. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on new video releases. So, have you ever been to a restaurant and the food on your friend's plate just looks so good? And then you kind of wonder if you ordered wrong. And then you just, take a little fry off their plate or something like that. Done it before. I was out for dinner with my sister about a month ago and I stole some food off of her plate, just habit. And she was so angry. She's like, don't ever do that again. In the moment, I didn't display any impulse control. Her food looked better than mine. And she's my sister, right? That's okay, isn't it? Anyway, that's impulse control. So, when you talk about impulse control, we do really talk about that ability to resist or delay that impulsive act. It's a very critical skill, and lots of our learners need to develop this for their emotional and social well-being. It's part of executive functioning. So that impulse control, think executive functioning. So it's about, I'm planning. I need that self-regulation to inhibit what I want to do, like chase that squirrel, and remain on task. So children with poor impulse control may struggle with waiting for their turn, following instructions, and even managing their emotions. So what do we do about this? We have to teach them, because developing impulse control can lead to better decision-making, improved relationships, and even greater academic success. So we need to discuss some strategies that can help with impulse control. So think about the use of visuals, right? Our antecedent log is great because we can record trigger situations in our antecedent log, and then we can draw out those situations kind of like a comic strip story. We can use some stick figures, maybe some chicken scratch. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be pretty and laminated. It really is just, hey, in the moment, let's talk about this scenario. I'm going to draw it out and discuss what happened, how to make other people feel. Now, what's really important with this, when you're doing that, when you're using these visuals, you don't want to do it in the moment. So you want to make sure that there's enough time that's passed. That might be 10 minutes, that might be the next day, but enough time that's passed that your learner still isn't emotionally attached to that situation. So what you can do then, like I said, is, discuss what happened using visuals and how it made other people feel. And then you can brainstorm some scenarios of how your learner could make it better for the next time. There's social curriculum or social thinking curriculum. It's by Elizabeth Del Sandro. It's called We Can Make It Better. Take a look at that. Now, make sure you're going to have to, define what behavior you're trying to change and take data on that, because we need to make sure that our anything that we're recommending is, an evidence-based strategy. Anyway, so use the visuals. After you use the visuals, make sure that you role play. Role play is huge. So it's not just about discussing the situation, but role play, role play, role play. So I've used visuals, I've drawn it out, and now, hey, let's discuss that. How can we make it better? Let's walk you through those together, and go from there. We've had lots of success with that. Other things to do is establish routines and rules. Set those clear boundaries. So having those consistent routines and clear expectations, I don't like to call them rules, really do help individuals know what to expect. It does help reduce that impulsive behavior using the visuals, schedules, timers, review those rules before entering trigger environments. So what we mean about that is, again, using that antecedent log. I know that this is going to be a trigger situation for you. Let's discuss it ahead of time. I'm going to write out, okay, here's, what to do in those situations. Remember, we role played this. Let's do that. I'm just going to remind you ahead of time. what to do. Another big thing that we can do is called priming. Priming is really pre-teaching ahead of time. So again, you've role played, you have established those routines, you're using visuals. Now you're going to, like, right before this, your child gets into a new situation, you can look online, look at websites and say, hey, look, this is the situation, just to prime them. You can talk about scenarios. So, this is a wedding, you really do have to be quiet. It's the person, at the front who needs to talk. Here's what you do in this other situation, and talk to them about it just before they're sitting in there to set them up for success, right? You really want to set people up for success so that they can thrive. Shira and I talk about can't do versus won't do. And a lot of the times with impulse control, it's not that they won't do it, it's they can't do it. So another huge tip is to teach waiting. Waiting is huge, and lots of kiddos cannot wait. And it's that delayed gratification. So, really, go in small increments. We also have another video on waiting, so check that out. It's just how to teach children to wait. But you want to start off in small increments. You may even want to teach kids to wait for 5 seconds, either sitting or standing or both. And then once they're able to do that, then 10 seconds and then 20 seconds, and gradually increase that so that eventually they're able to wait for longer and longer periods of time. Another one would be to teach emotional regulation. And this is huge as well. So, sometimes, kids might be able to wait, but they're not able to say, this is tough for me, or they're not able to say, this is a new situation. I'm feeling really anxious right now. So teaching them to be able to state their emotions and then be able to do some calming down techniques in order to help them calm themselves. And that's probably a whole other discussion, but the message is it's okay to be anxious. You can teach these kids, yes, state that you're anxious, and it's not praising them for calming down. It's praising them for trying to use techniques to help them calm. So, teaching them to say, I'm anxious right now. Let's teach some emotional regulation techniques, calming down, breathing techniques, or, I'm really feeling tired. I need to, rev myself up a little bit, but teaching those emotional regulation strategies as well will help. And then, of course, last but not least is using reinforcement. Sometimes reinforcement can just be praise, right? So, in the situation, even if it's really tiny, tiny moments, find those small moments and really praise and, reinforce for demonstrating that self-control. For more information on curbing impulse control, click the link in and around this video or in the description to claim your free antecedent log. We also encourage you to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos, and leave a like and comment below if you have further questions.